all doing this morning? This is Sheila Keelty, the Undiet Coach. I help women learn to have an effortless relationship with food and their bodies for a lifetime of health and wellness. And it's something I did for myself and lost over 130 pounds and have kept it off. I would love to have that happen for you too. Now, this is our badass women health warriors group. These are people in this group are so active. I'm so excited to have you here. It's all about showing up for yourself and making those micro changes that are necessary to see the big macro changes that you want to have happen in your life. What we're talking about today are the 9 things that happen in your body when you eliminate sugar for just 2 weeks. This is in 2 weeks. This is not over a lifetime. This is the myriad of changes that happen to you, the cascade of astounding things that happen to you when you eliminate sugar. Now, I'm not talking about just table sugar, added sugar, like you're putting sugar into something. I am counting all carbs because no matter what carb you put in your mouth, whether it's whole grain or not, and only 89% of even whole grains are pure carbs. They're a little bit healthier. They have a little bit more fiber and a little bit more value to them in terms of vitamin B. They're not as processed. They have some more minerals and a little bit more iron to them than the super processed white stuff. And it's slightly healthier, but it still turns into glucose in your body and is processed that way. Even vegetables are carbs, but they're not the same as the heavy glucosey carbs like processed foods and grains and sugars are. So the average American, just added sugar, I have some numbers down. I want to make sure I get this right. They have 13.5 teaspoons of sugar a day in just added sugar. And if you add up the total carbs, including all the carbohydrates, all of the breads, pastas, rices, and all the different things that you have in a day, the average American has the equivalent of a half a pound of sugar a day for your body to deal with. So if we set that aside, we don't insult our bodies with all of that, some amazing things happen. So I'll jump right into number 1. Number 1 is your face shape. Now, I will post a picture of me before and after I gave up sugar so you can see the difference. My face, you can see my ears get my ear out here. My ear is here. This is the edge of my ear. It's always backwards. I can never see in this thing. So here's the edge of my ear. You can see it here. This is my ear right here. My face was so wide when I was having a whole bunch of sugar and I was having a whole bunch of carbs all the time. I was a gluten-free vegan for a while, and I was more like a carbitarian or a breaditarian or a pasta-atarian. The veg part of the vegan kind of escaped me. I was the worst vegan in the world. But I was just having so many carbs, I got more and more and more and more diabetic. It made me very, very sick. My face was so wide that you could not see my ears to save your soul. And my ears are like out here. So my face was that wide, you couldn't see. I had to completely turn my head to even see earrings. All right, see how you can see my ear right there? Right? There's my ear. Couldn't see it. And your whole body deflates, but people see it first in their face. And you've seen that on the first week of a diet, your face chisels out a little bit and everything. That's that thing that lets go. Oh, Nikki, hi, how are you? When you say all sugars, that inclusive of fresh fruit. Great question. Fruit is a slippery slope food. Fruit is nature's dessert. All fruits are not equal too, but they take fruit and veg and they lump it together. They say, get your fruits and vegetables. Well, fruits and vegetables are very different things. Vegetables have a different type of carb in them that is locked into the fiber that's with it. Fruit has fructose, which is the basis of table sugar, all kinds of things. And fructose is such an insult to your liver that it gets there. It's such a raw sugar. It doesn't know what to do with it and spits out triglycerides, a type of LDL that's really bad. You've all had your triglycerides checked. That's the stuff that creates the pockets of calcification in your arteries and everything. We have 3 people here. I'm so excited. Please let me know who you are in the comments so I know who to say hi to. And it only gives you a number in Facebook. So let me know that you're here and who you are, where you're coming from. Nikki, I had a great question is when you say sugar, is that inclusive of fresh fruit? Fresh fruit, there is this thing that's out there, this marketing thing. Someone figured out that when you have fiber in your diet, that it offsets or slows down the amount of glucose that's absorbed in your body. So if you have fresh fruit with all the fiber, like an apple with the skin on it, the glucose isn't as fast. Remember I told you that slam of fructose, like if you have a glass of apple juice or something. Hi. Oh, Jackie from, hello, my Jackie from the UK. How are you? And Peggy Riggins from Chicago. Hello, Peggy. You're my ever-present Peggy. How you doing? My favorite pharmacist on the planet. So about fruit. So when you have the fiber, it slows down that fructose insult to your body, but it doesn't stop it. And it's not 1-for-1. 1 gram of fiber does not eliminate and get rid of 1 gram of sugar. We're not that mathematical. It would be great if we could do that. But what the processed marketing people have figured out is if they add any kind of fiber, that it's allowed on the side of the package, the US government allows you, the nutrition facts on the side allows you to have this thing called net carbs. And they're using that thing about fruit that people found out about the fiber and so forth that eliminates the carbs. Well, it does not eliminate the carbs or the sugar that's the resulting of the carbs. It still comes to you, and it's a very small percentage that is slowed down or eliminated. So don't think that the fiber is going to change it. Fruit is one of the things that we pull back from. It is nature's candy. It is nature's dessert. It is super high in sugar, and it can just totally derail your efforts to eliminate sugars in your body. If you must have fruit, the one that is the absolute best category of fruits is berries. They're surprisingly low glycemic and super high in that fiber and phytonutrients from in the skins that are very, very good for you. So don't lump fruits and vegetables in the same breath. So we're talking about the 9 things that happen to your body when you completely eliminate sugars of all kinds for just 2 weeks. And I encourage everyone to try this. For 2 weeks, just eliminate them, get rid of the sugar beast in your body asking for sugar all the time. Sugar is just as addictive as heroin and cocaine combined. Some studies say 2 to 3 times, but even if you say just those 2 combined, it's more than that. That's a phenomenal statement to say that sugar is really that addictive. It's like, yeah, it is. And your body will choose to burn sugar first before it gets to fat. So you'll be a sugar burner, sugar burner, sugar burner. Your body's going to be wanting sugar. It's like rocket fuel, burns up really fast. At any given time, the human body has up, even a skinny person will have up to 100,000 calories of fat energy that they can burn on their body. That their body can produce ketones, burn those, use that for fuel. So we can burn fat or we can burn sugar. We do not burn protein for energy. Protein is a building block of fiber and tissue. So sugar is the priority. It comes first. We only have 1,700 calories at any given time of sugar running through our body. And that's the rocket fuel. Burns fast, burns really quickly. I often talk about the kindling and the logs. I have a wonderful analogy about sugar burning that I heard recently that's spot on. Imagine energy as a battery. That's easy to do, right? A battery. So picture a battery in a car. Big old car battery, right? A car battery is going to give you a lot of energy for a long time. That's fat. Sugar is more like AAA batteries, those little tiny AAA batteries. And if you were running your entire body on AAA batteries, you would be throwing batteries into your body all day long. You'd have to be changing those suckers out a lot. You want to have the car battery type of energy, not the AAA type of battery. But our bodies will prioritize, get rid of sugar first, because that's the kindling that sets up the big log, which is the long burn. That's what we're looking for. And I'm asking you to try this out with me for just 2 weeks and take note of these things. So the very first one is your face shape change. I was talking about when I was a really big Oh, I'm glad you like that analogy, Jackie. I just heard it and it really is like, that's a really good analogy. So when my face was really big and puffy, and anybody who's seen my before pictures, and I'll put some in the comments below when I post this, it was very big. You couldn't even see my ears. My ears are out here, and it's, this very big bowling ball head face. The very first thing that happens is all the glucagon in your body gets, and glycogen, and your body gets used up. All that extra store, that big pillow of watery stuff on your liver completely goes away. The fat starts burning out of your liver. So anybody who's got fatty liver disease, which is very common with diabetes, you should be tested for it. It's not a common test. You should ask for it. So if you're in the high 20s or low 30s in your BMI, if you're approaching obesity or you've gone over the level into obesity, please get your liver checked. Fatty liver disease is nothing to mess with. But as soon as you burn off your sugar and that glycogen's gone, your body starts digging into the liver, cleaning that up, all within that 2-week period of time. So that big, belly, your face and your belly start deflating right away. A lot of water is lost. Make sure you keep your fluids up, keep your electrolytes up when you're on your first 2 weeks of getting rid of sugar, because you can get what they used to call the keto flu. Keto flu is basically your electrolytes are off because you're peeing so darn much. So you'll be peeing a lot and peeing out this water, but that's what's all around the fat. You're getting to the fat and releasing fat. And once you're burning fat, that's that log. That's that really great energy that eliminates fatigue and everything. So your face shape and your belly shape will change. I used to have a 54-inch waist. I now have a 26-inch waist. It really does change everything. The next thing that happens that people don't realize it happens when you give up sugar is your eyes improve. Everybody knows with diabetes is chance of being blind, is that's because diabetic retinopathy is a thing. That's where it attacks the retina, the inflammation and the oxidization and the rusting that happens in your body from all that sugar coursing through your body and creating damage causes your retinas are your eyes are very sensitive to that. So you get an inflammation in your retina. That's that outer part of your eye that sees. Also your kidneys and your brain. So there is vascular disease that goes on. That's inflammation inside of your veins and arteries. That's, something that goes away when you give up sugar. And neuropathy, that diabetic neuropathy and nephropathy, which is your kidneys. So your kidneys, your nerves, your arteries, and your eyes. So you might see better. You might be able to, like my glasses aren't working. I had to change my prescription. I don't know how many times. I kept saying my glasses aren't working. And I'd go to the doctor and like, you get a better prescription. My eyes weren't as dry. I wasn't putting drops in them all the time. So as my diabetes pulled back, that happened. But I'm telling you guys, this happens in your first 2 weeks, just 2 weeks. Not I had a little bit or I cut back or whatever. Eliminate carbs and sugar for just 2 weeks. You can do this for 2 weeks. We have all gone on the craziest diets known to man. I have heard the cabbage diet, and like all crazy diets that we've gone on in our lives. I had one diet where all I ate was brown rice and canned tomatoes for 3 weeks to get ready for my wedding in 1986. It was called the rice diet. I lost a lot of weight, but it came right back on as soon as I stopped eating just rice and tomatoes. But, we've gone on these crazy things for a long period. For 2 weeks, 2 weeks, you can stick to green leafy vegetables and fatty meats. You're able to do it. But do this experiment with me. If you're having a puffy face, a puffy tummy, if your eyes, it's hard to focus and you got blurry vision or double vision, if you're feeling like you're not peeing a lot and you may have your kidneys hurt, you have neuropathy in your hands and feet, 2 weeks, just 2 weeks, give it a try. So the next thing that happens is less peeing. I know I told you to pee during the day a lot more, but the nighttime peeing, if you're getting up and peeing a lot at night, does anybody here get up and pee a lot at night? I know we talk a lot of pee and poop. As health coaches, we just do. It's just normal par for the course. But a lot of people get up all night and go to the bathroom. This happens when you get older, but it also happens because you have a lot of sugar in your body. And as your body's trying to balance all that and make sense of it, it loads up your kidneys and loads up your bladder with all the water that's left over from processing all the sugar as you're sleeping at night. And you got to get up and pee. I had one lady who was getting up to pee 10 times a night. That will go away or reduce. Peggy, me, 3 times. Cut back your sugars. It will really help. It's not just how much you drink before you go to bed. It really is about the sugar in your body. And it's not just about the teaspoons of sugar. Remember, we have the equivalent of a half a pound of sugar a day if you add up all the sugar grams and the glucose grams in all the carbs that you eat. So it's not just the 13 and a half teaspoons of added sugar that Americans have in your diet. It's that half pound a day. And when that's eliminated, you're not going to get up and pee all night long. So the next thing that happens, and one thing I wanted to talk about, if diabetes is having too much sugar in your blood, I mean, we boil it down, that's what it is, too much sugar in your body left over from eating. Why isn't the solution from the American Diabetes Association to eliminate sugar? It doesn't. There's no recommendations to eliminate sugar. It used to be blamed that fat was the reason, eating too much fat. Or the American Diabetes Association even says to maintain your grains, like have all those grains and carry candies with you in case you need some sugar. If you eliminate sugar, my A1C was in the hefty 9s. It was pushing towards a 10 at one point, and it's now 5.2 as of last week. So yay, very non-diabetic. But I remember all of the amount of sugars and things and everything that I ate. And when I cut it out, it just plummets. Your A1C goes way down, and the levels, you stick your finger and you're not going up and down and all having all that inflammation. So if you have diabetes, just try cutting out the sugars for 2 weeks and see what happens. There's no such thing as an essential sugar or an essential carb. There's essential fatty acids, which is fat, and there's essential amino acids, which is protein. But it is not essential to have carbs. If we don't eat carbs, our body actually produces 35 grams a day from our liver through gluconeogenesis, which means make new sugar. It's a mirror. It's this wonderfully designed, amazing system that when our ancestors were walking the prairies and trying to find their food, and they were without food for a while, their body actually creates sugar for them. And that 35 grams a day is exactly what you need to keep your brain going, keep your body going. It produces it for you. Now, you don't want to rely on that. But what I'm saying is when you eliminate all of the grains and processed foods and sugars, you are going to eliminate that onslaught of all that excess sugar that creates diabetes, blurry vision, puffy face, big tummy, all of that, the peeing all night. So the next thing you're going to have is a lot more energy. Remember the car battery. You're going to get lots of energy. You're not going to be trying to find AAA batteries all the time. And so if you're not using the AAA batteries and using the really big battery, you're going to have a lot more energy for a longer time. Remember the log on the fire, that big old long burning log? That will give you a lot of energy for a long time. And it's not the, crazy up down energy. It's a nice, smooth, calm amount of energy. It's amazing. So much less like caffeine and more like that big old log on the fire. And that's what you want. The next thing that happens, number 5, is you lose your cravings of between meal foods. And when you're putting that big log on the fire, you drop your hungriness between meals, and hangriness, which is a real thing. Hangry is your body's hungry, angry response. It's in the Snickers ad. And they're like, oh, did you have your Snickers? Oh, I feel much more like yourself. Well, eliminate Snickers and put cocaine, heroin, opioids, alcohol, cigarettes, whatever the addiction is in there. And it was, oh, yeah, I had my heroin. I feel so much better. I'm not all jittery anymore. But that's what hangry is. It is the search for sugar. And when you are a sugar burner and your body freaks out and you got to go have sugar all the time, you're going to have a fight or flight response. You are going to be starving Marvin running around. You just ate, but you're like hungry, right? You're like, I need to get something to eat. If I don't get something now, I'm going to explode. It's a real thing, guys. This is not your fault. The processed food companies know this. They design it that way to get you to snack more and buy their crappy food. The snack wells and the healthy choices and all the lean cuisine choices that there are, they're full of sugar. They may not have fat, You know, the whole fat-free world that they do, they may only have 100 calories, but they're full of sugar. And that's what they put, that's what the gluten-free stuff, full of high sugar stuff. So please be careful and look out for that. You want that long burning energy that gets rid of the cravings. Because if your energy is going and you're feeding yourself satietous food, food that makes you feel full, how many people listening have that snackiness kind of feeling between meals? Like you crave, you just ate, and an hour later you're like, I'd like to have a little something, something. Or an afternoon thing, or every, a couple hours after lunch, you're in the office kitchen, like looking for those muffins that Sally brings in or something. It's just, who looks for those like afternoon snacks or is thinking about snacking? Let me know if that's something that goes on with you. And if you have a piece of fruit during that time, you may think that's a better choice, but that is plummeting. It is just plunging your body into a lake of fructose in your body that's going to give you a spike and give you energy and then slam you to the ground. And it may even produce triglycerides in your body. Your liver may not know what to do with it. Depends on your liver health and how much sugar's in your body and everything, and how much triglycerides you spit out. But who wants to encourage that going on in their body? So the one thing Jackie says, yep, always needs something sweet after savory. That is not unusual. That is very common, that there's like that, I need something sweet to kind of balance things off. You get that sweet tooth thing happening. That's your body looking for sugar, because it's the AAA batteries. You're running around putting, gotta get some AAA batteries in there. If you'd had something that was satietous and you've eliminated sugar from your eating, from all your foods, you've eliminated the carbs and the sugars and the added sugars and the pastas and rices and breads and all of that, for just 2 weeks, you will see yourself turning into a fat burner, which means all those cravings disappear. No more nighttime cravings. When you're watching TV at night, have a bowl of popcorn. You just ate. So if you're hungry after a meal, you also might want to look and think, you're not having enough calories. It used to be eliminate your calories, get as low on calories as you can, and you'll get thin. Well, that works for a very short period of time, and then your body gets used to it. A lot of people who are overweight don't eat enough. I know that is like insane in the brain to think that eat more, move less is the paradigm, but it is. That's what works for long time weight loss. And if you look at skinny people and how they eat a lot of food. Like when you're sitting there and you're on a diet and you have your rice cakes and your non-fat yogurt and your Tab back in the 70s, remember Tab? And you're eating your diet food, your non-fat food, and you're like, blah, blah, I'm eating this. And you look at your skinny friend and she's got the burger and the salad and the fries and the everything and the appetizers, and she's eating everybody else's food. She's eating. And you're like, how do you eat like that? And I'm having my rice cake and you're skinny and I'm not. I'm working, so what is this? Very often, it's not enough calories. Your body, it's hijacked your metabolism and you're not eating enough. So you may think I'm nuts to tell you guys to go eat more volume, but eat more volume of dense nutrition foods. And if you went to my Diet Free in 23 masterclass a couple weeks ago, and I hope you were able to catch that, we talked all about dense nutrition and what that is. So look for some in the Badass Women's Health Warrior, in this Facebook group, check out some of the articles about dense nutrition and educate yourself about what that is. Because if you feed yourself enough of the right kinds of foods that give you a high impact of nutrition, you are not going to want anything else. You're going to be satisfied. Your leptin will kick in. You'll have long burning big logs. You're not throwing AAA batteries at it. And you're going to be able to sail through. You're going to, oh, geez, it's 2 o'clock. I haven't had lunch yet. Believe me, that will happen. And I see it over and over and over again with every single client. I tell people that's going to happen and they say, oh, you don't know me. I'm such a sugar burner. Yeah, that's never going to happen. I'm a sugar fiend. You're not going to get me to do that. Lo and behold, it will happen. I can name 20 people off the top of my head that happened for. So, of my client group. So, please try it. Remember, we're talking 2 weeks, 14 days, ladies. You can do this. So number 5 was the cravings. Number 6, I have a list. I want to make sure I get these in. Less pain and stiffness. So does anybody have pain and stiffness that's kicking in? If you're over 40 and you're starting to get those stiff joints and your hands hurt in the morning, or your back hurts, or your knees hurt, or your ankles hurt. If you have your master class was bananas. I hope that's good bananas, Peggy. It included a lot of information in a short period of time, bananas. But yes, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I guess you enjoyed it if it was bananas. I hope that means good. But the pain and the stiffness is coming from that inflammation that we talked about. All of that swelling in your arteries and capillaries creates the high blood pressure problem. That comes from sugar, a lot of inflammation. Sugar is universally, it's like, that doesn't inflame me. Sugar is an inflammatory food, period. And we're talking about the systemic kind, the thickening of your arteries, the thickening of various parts of your body, the burning through different parts of your body from the disintegration of cartilage and so forth from inflammation. Me again. I'm not sure what that means. Yes, good. It meant good. Okay, thanks, Biggie. Banana's good. Just been signed off work for 2 weeks, so I'm making this experiment my mission. Good. Do it. 2 weeks. Puffiness in the face, belly puffiness, eyes improve. Less peeing at night, more energy, lose the cravings between meals. And this one is less pain, stiffness, pain, lower your inflammation. You will find you feel lubricated. You feel, oh, I don't have that stiffness or that pain. Your blood pressure will just drop. If you've got high blood pressure, drop the sugar. You will be amazed. Now, it's not the only reason people have high blood pressure, but it is one of the top reasons people have high blood pressure is their diet. So it's not just, oh, diet and do something, lower your calories. People think of diet like, oh, lower the calories. Get rid of the sugar. When you get rid of the sugar, it'll get away from that bodily. Oh, yes. Oh, you had pain. Oh, I'm sorry, Jackie. You have pain. Yeah, it'll lower all that systemic inflammation that goes with it. The next one is a big one. Number 7 is you'll lose weight, but not just the liquid the fat and the water that leaves your body where the glycogen stores. No. You will lose actual fat. Now, most people go on a diet for less than 3 weeks before they say, that's it, I've had it. During that first 3 weeks, most people lose only the water, maybe a half pound of fat, which is why the second you stop doing whatever calorie restriction thing it was, Weight Watchers, whatever, the weight flies back on. It's like, I had a glass of water and my weight was back. That's actually true. As soon as you replace the water into your system, it's back. Fills up those cells and that weight that you were carrying around. Yes, it shows up on the scale. Yes, people can lose 13 to 15 pounds in the first 3 weeks of the reboot. And a lot of that is the water, the glycogen that's around it. But the other thing that you lose in this first 2 weeks is actual fat, up to 5 pounds of actual fat. Now, if you're wondering what fat looks like on your body, picture a 12-inch cube. All right, so 1 foot cube. A 1 foot cube is 5 pounds of fat. 1 foot, not 1 inch. 1 foot cube. So picture like a soccer ball size, but in a cube. And that's how much is off your body in fat. And that comes from when you switch from being a sugar burner to being a fat burner. It starts pulling fat off of your stores, converting it to ketones, and spitting it out as energy that you can burn as fat. It's a natural part of our 2-compartment system that we have. We burn sugar and fat. Once the sugar's burned off, and if you're not putting sugar in, what's it going to pull? Fat. You have no choice. It has to pull fuel, and it starts saying, oh, we don't have to grab those AAAs in. Let's go get one of those big old car batteries. Plunk. We'll use that for Sheila for her energy, right? That starts happening, and then the cascade of all of these changes happen when that happens. So I'm going to skip to number 9. I'll go back to number 8. We'll make 8, 9, and 9, 8. But this number 8 is insulin resistance. Does everybody know what insulin resistance is? If you went to the master class, we covered what that is. You have little receptors that look like, let's see if I can do this, little Ys sticking off of your cells. And different kinds of materials drop into those receptors on your cells and get sucked in as energy. One is sugar, one is ketones, glucose or ketones, the two fuels. When you have a lot of sugar on board, you produce a lot of insulin, which is the thing that is the key that unlocks the energy inside of a glucose molecule. So you have this glucose molecule that's going on, attaches to your cells in your body. Insulin comes along, unlocks it, it goes in as energy into your cells. When your cells are all full of insulin and glucose and it's like saturated, you're going to be resistant to it. It's like, I don't need any, I've got enough. But if you keep putting sugar in your body's going to keep producing insulin and insulin and insulin and insulin. Ironically, that's what we give diabetics, is even more insulin. And insulin's a hoarder. If it's not used, it will start taking fat and sugar, all that excess sugar, turn it into fat and store it in your intramuscular tissue. So all in your muscles, all built up. You look like Wagyu beef when you cut you open. You're full of fat everywhere in your body. Peggy, yes, insulin can't get sugar into the cells. Yeah. So the insulin, overdose of insulin, basically, way more than you need because you're having way more sugar than you need. And your body says, I can't take it anymore. But keep spitting it out every time you eat, every time you put sugar in your body, out comes the insulin, and you're bathed with it. Giving you more is not the solution for diabetes. It's getting rid of the sugar in the first place, not more insulin. Get rid of the sugar. If having too much sugar in your body is what diabetes is, just get rid of it. It's a pretty simple solution. People are always concerned about the reactive hypoglycemia, where your body's going to have a blood sugar crash. If I don't have sugar, it's going to crash. Remember, you don't have all those big ups and downs when you're burning that nice long log for energy. It's not the rocket fuel and nothing, and rocket fuel and nothing. Insulin, 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 rocket fuel and nothing. You're burning a nice, calm, big log. You're using the big car battery. You're not running around looking for AAAs. Okay? So when you have that nice long burn going on, your body's not going to look for sugar. You're not going to have that crash. Your body's not creating gallons of, or whatever, I don't know how much it is, but it's a whole bunch of insulin. Maybe Peggy can tell us exactly how much the human body releases. But it's if you get rid of sugar, there's no need for all that excess insulin, and your insulin resistance goes down. Insulin resistance is also the precursor to diabetes. Now, I got a bone to pick with pre-diabetes as a term. It's like being pre-pregnant. It's like you're either pregnant or you're not pregnant. You're not pre-pregnant, And pre-diabetic is diabetic at a certain level. It's kind of the warning bell, or supposed to be, but people don't use it as the warning bell. People hear pre-diabetic and they go, whew, I'm not diabetic yet. I keep going doing what I'm doing. Whew. Dodge that bullet. No, if you're pre-diabetic, you're essentially stage 1 diabetic. Think of it that way. I wish it was called stage 1 diabetes. That would be a far better term for it, but pre-diabetic is what it is. Don't just throw yourself onto diabetes medications. Don't just jump onto the diabetes bandwagon and take care of it that way. Just eliminate your sugar. Everything will calm down. We're asking for that for 2 weeks. And I want you to comment. If you're doing this thing for 2 weeks, getting rid of your sugars for 2 weeks, please put in the comments this week in this Badass Women Health Warrior group. Let us know. I'm doing this. Put a post up after this and say, I'm going to try the 2-week sugar-free challenge with Sheila. I am going to get down to as close to 0 on carbs and sugars as I can for 2 weeks, and take note and go back to your post and say, oh my gosh, look at my face. Take a picture of your face before, take a picture of it afterwards. Let's really do this experiment together. Let's see if your face shape changes, your belly goes away, your vision improves, less pain at night, more energy, lose your cravings, less pain and stiffness and insulin resistance. And the biggest one, you're losing weight, but another one that's the big surprise that people don't know about. One of the biggies, and Jacqueline can speak to this. Oh, you're in. Oh, good. Thank you. Nikki, I'm so glad you're doing this. This is fantastic. She came to the master class as well. I'm so glad to see you over here and doing this. Let's do this for 2 weeks. I'll put my picture up. I will get really strict with what I'm doing. You'll see my before and afters. Let's go out there. Let's try this 2-week challenge to get rid of sugar. And the biggest one that I love, I know this is strange, but Jackie can speak to this. Your skin improves. We spend $16.5 billion a year in the US alone on skincare, of keeping our skin from aging. Want to get fine lines and wrinkles gone every night on every show, every single aging actress on the planet. Look at me, I'm dewy. I've got this like $1 million cream I'm putting on. Buy this, try this, put this outside cream on. That's like closing the barn door after, the horse has already run away. Sound like my mother and her. I'm sounding like oh no, I sound like my mother's analogies. But it is, it's like too little too late. You can out cream all of the, skin problems. I'd love Jackie to speak to this. You're in, I'm very glad you're in, Peggy. Peggy is in 2 weeks. Let's do this. So afterwards you're posting, I'm in, and today is day 1. You can make tomorrow day 1 if you want to. That's fine. If you've already eaten today, make tomorrow day 1. We'll make it. Glycation of the skin is pretty grim. Yes, it is. And Jackie knows. Jackie is going to be part of a brand new, we're launching today. You are the first people to hear about this. Jackie already knows because she is part of this. We are having a Thrive and Revive Summit on April 25th. We're announcing it today. Go to thriverevivesummit.com. I will put the link down below. She's so excited. Jackie is a face yoga specialist. She lost tons of weight herself and wanted to do something about her saggy skin that we all get as we get older, but it's a lot more when we lose weight. We lose a lot of fat tissue, and remember, all our face is shrinking in this experiment that we're doing. What Jackie does is face yoga and using the gua sha stone, that little tool that was like the biggest gift at Christmas 2022 this last year. She gave herself a facelift and helps other people do that without going under the knife or having to have shots or needles or any. Jackie is a skin wizard. She is amazing, and she's going to be helping me get this 60-year-old face back together, because I was little Miss Pumpkinhead and now it's not, and there's all this like extra stuff I want to get rid of. So she's going to help me not look so 60 years old anymore. But this point I'm saying is the best, most shocker, is when you get rid of sugar, all of that rusting effect. I talked about the inflammation, oxidization, everything that happens with your skin. And you get the wrinkles, you get the sagginess, and when you smile, you get these like extra pieces, and you get all this extra. I have so much extra stuff. I can even push it to the side and put it up behind my ear. I have so much extra skin left over. You can't cream your way out of that. Believe me, I have spent hundreds and hundreds, if not over $1,000 over the last 5 years since I lost that first big chunk of weight, and my face just looked like it was hanging down around my belly. This horrible deflated balloon face, trying to get it back. Jackie's the person to do it. So that's wonderful. But sugar, get rid of the sugar. If you want your skin to improve, it's going to cost you nothing. All you have to do, probably save money, get rid of the sugary food. You're not spending money on the sugary food. Rather than buying creams and potions and masks and gels and serums and like all that junk, buy yourself better food. Get dense nutrition going. Get good fat, good meat choices. I know people that spend thousands of dollars on facials and everything every year and then say they have no money for well-sourced food. Invest in the things that are going to make a long-term difference. Dense nutrition, well-sourced food. Oh, Jackie's so sweet. She goes, Sheila Kilty, you're beautiful exactly as you are. Thank you. You don't believe that when you're almost I'm almost 61. You don't believe that anymore, but thank you very much. I appreciate that, Jackie. So, rather than spending all that money on the facials all year, spend the money on the good food. Spend the money on dense nutrition, of educating yourself, of being a badass woman health warrior, and figure out how food is your medicine. How you eat is the best prescription you will ever have. If you're eating well, far fewer people would be lining up at Peggy Riggins' pharmacy counter to get their prescriptions filled because they would be dealing with it holistically. And the diet industry and big food and all of those places don't want you to know this because it's free. Getting the right food you're not paying them. But when you eat the right way, at the right time, with the right support group to do it and everything, like the Reboot is, you get the results. You get those results, and you're not buying prescriptions and supplements and all those things. Stop throwing your money down the drain on all the gels and all the supplements that are supposed to be biotin supplements and all those things that people take. And please, please, please stop with going for collagen around every corner. Collagen has to be produced starting in your gut and gut health. And there's a cascade of things that happen that release the right amount of collagen and produce collagen in your body naturally when you're eating well. Eating a bunch of collagen does not change your skin. It makes money for the company that sold you these peptides. So all the pills and the peptide creams, first of all, the peptides that you put on your face that they sell you for like 300, the Charlotte Tilbury, I guess I'm saying, am I saying that right, Jackie? Is a British lady, Charlotte Tilbury, her peptide cream is $350 to put on your skin. And the cells are too big to get into your skin. It just stays on the surface of your skin. It doesn't make anything better. So keep yourself hydrated. Eat the right amount of foods. Get rid of the sugar in your body. You will see an amazing change to your skin, plumpness, quality, everything. Anybody who knows a before picture of me, I look like my own grandmother. Saggy face, wrinkles, puffiness, everything. When I started eating right, everything came together. Skin, that's the one. That's the big like aha for me. When I research these things like skin, that's right. Skin is one. Everybody's trying to look younger and get their skin. And if you're looking for the creams, Jacqueline says creams go no deeper than the first 3 layers of the skin. Absolutely. Amen. God Pharmacy is the grocery. God's Pharmacy is the grocery. Yes, it is. So I'll see you later. This is Sheila Kilty, the Undiet Coach. I'll see you next week for Transformation Tuesday. Take care.